Powering up essential systems. Booting root C/audio logs. Reviewing previous data cells. Repairing audio files. Episode 38, The Battle of Rex's Gate, Part 4.
On second thought, I am in the middle of something, and I will get to you as soon as I can, but you gotta give me just a little bit more time.
And I'll let go of the radio and set it to the side.
Ready to storm the tower, Dice?
As ready as I'll ever be, I guess.
Rex and Dice head out of the car. Rex makes sure to take the keys with him out of the laser tank.
Out of the
Rex
laser
takes
tank.
The keys with him.
Yeah, you and Dice step out of the laser tank. You click the button on the key fob, and it beeps at you.
All right, Rex storms off towards that main building, the one where is it the tallest one?
It is, yes.
Yeah. Rex storms off towards that tallest one.
Wait, Rex, come back real fast. Do you have
Rex starts running backwards. What?
Do you have any other guns on you?
What kind of question is that?
I figured you would. I just don't really carry much with me.
Rex tosses her scout.
Oh, okay. Fantastic.
Are you leaving the grenade launcher behind?
You have the grenade launcher right now.
I thought I handed it to you.
I thought I handed it to you.
Someone can take the grenade launcher. That's fine.
If I have it.
Somebody handed me this grenade launcher.
Well, we used it to take out the laser tank. It's just I don't need it now that I've got Opera again.
Okay, then I can I'll keep the grenade launcher then. I
pretty
thought
sure
that you had it.
You shot at the laser tank.
I
You were the
did
last
shoot at the
person to use
laser
it.
tank. You're right. I still have it. Got it. Okay. Never mind. I don't need Scout. Take it back.
All right.
Okay. I'm good.
Okay, so after a brief moment of you and Dice standing right outside the front door, shoving a grenade launcher back and forth, and she's like, "Do you want this? No, I don't want this. I'm fine with it. I've got my gun. You take this." Eventually, the grenade launcher settles in Dr. Dice's hands, and you, the two of you, open the doors to the ground level of the admin building. Now, this, right, Rex, you've been in this building once before. You understand it's half office space, half living quarters for the really important people here in New Pittsburgh. Basically, the lower levels, like you've got ground floor, which is, reception and that kind of stuff. As you go up a couple levels, you get more of the offices of the people. And as you get to the very top levels, that's where you'll get the like the housing for people. At least one of the housing rooms is unoccupied as you've killed Papa Tuscan. It's vacant now.
Oh, what a shame.
But
okay, so here's what I'm thinking. First off, is there like an elevator?
Yes.
Is there any people?
Not in this place.
Okay.
Right now, you're just in the ground floor kind of entry area, getting the lay of the land. It is vacant right now.
Okay.
All right, I've got an idea. Hear me out. We cut the power.
That is not a bad idea. Do you know where the power box is?
Hey, Trent, do I know where the power box is?
You haven't been shown where the power box is, but you're a capable fellow. I'm sure if you spend a couple minutes, you could find it.
I would like to spend a couple minutes trying to find it.
Okay. Roll to act under fire. This will determine whether you find it before enemy reinforcements.
Do we find it, or will they find us?
Yes.
10.
It's a 10? Okay, perfect, yeah. So you think about it for a minute or two, and you go, well, in a building this big, they probably have a bunch of stuff in the basement. It's ugly down there. They'd probably hide it there. And so you...
in a building this big, probably... Let's check the basement.
Yeah. You go down to the basement. There's a mechanical room that has everything that runs the building. It's down here, hidden away from the view of what the public would have seen once upon a time. You have access to basically any sort of utilities functions you want for this building down here.
Wow. So there's like a fuse box or something?
Oh, absolutely. There's actually a couple for a building this size.
Rex is going to start shooting them.
Okay. You shoot it.
Lights out.
Dice
Yeah.
is just standing off behind, just like, okay.
You're keeping watch.
Yeah.
Keeping watch.
I can jive with this. Yeah. So you rock in. You level Opera at the fuse panels and just
I was just gonna use Amy. Not
You level Amy at the fuse panels and just fire a couple of rounds in there. Sparks fly everywhere, and then the lights just drop. The hum of the fluorescent tubes dies away, leaving you with just the eerie silence of the basement.
Oh no! I just realized something. We're gonna have to take the stairs.
That's fine. I can do stairs. Let's go.
Me too. Are you sure you can do stairs? I remember that one time you nearly plunged through the stairs. Danu Funk.
Those were creaky old bad stairs. That does not count.
All right, well, we might as well try to make our way up slowly without making too much noise and try to get to the top there.
I'm right there with you. You seem to have a better idea of what this place looks like than I do, so please, lead the way.
Rex is gonna try to start going up the stairs straight towards where he would assume that Vodka's room is.
Yeah. Okay. You start leading Dice up the stairs. How are you guys seeing in the dark? Are you using flashlights? Are you just trying to go off of ambient light coming through windows and whatnot?
Yeah, so what time is it right now?
So you're at it's dusk.
So there should still be a little bit of light, but it's getting darker.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Especially as you get into interior section of this building that don't have windows, it's going to get real tough. So I just wanted to know.
Dice has a flashlight, so she'll pull that out.
I mean, it's the apocalypse. I'd hope y'all would have flashlights.
I only have room for guns.
Flashlight.
What about
And also a
gun-mounted
walkie-talkie.
flashlights?
And also a walkie-talkie.
Alrighty, yeah. So you guys head up the stairs. You go up one level. You go up 2 levels. You go up 3 levels. And as you're ascending the flight of stairs, going to the 4th level of this building, you hear the squeak of a door come in and the sound of boots on the floors below you.
Squeak of boots.
Below us.
Yes, below you. It appears so you're 3.5, 4 levels above where your adversary currently is. It sounds like reinforcements have entered the building, but obviously they don't know where you are yet. But granted, you're still kind of figuring it out yourself. You're on the 4th level. Tucson's office was on the 5th. Kind of guessing.
Okay.
How high do you want to go?
I want to get to Tucson's office.
Tucson's office? Okay.
Once we need to get to that 5th floor quickly but quietly, and then pop in. How many floors are there total again?
It's hard to tell with these buildings because a lot of what's happened with these buildings is the upper floors have become more unstable over time, and so while the buildings are still maybe 10 stories tall, only 3 or 4 of the floors are in use. This building seems to be maintained better than others, as obviously you're in the 4th floor and there's at least 5. You could guess there's 7 or 8, but it's hard to know for sure.
All right, yeah, we got to get to Papa Tuscan's office.
I just keep following behind with making sure to just be on high alert for any person that comes even close to, if we see anything. Hear anything.
Okay. Rex, you know where you're going. So you are able to lead Dice to Papa Tuscan's office. It is exactly as you left it when you went in there first. Very clean, nice, neat, organized. A closed liquor cabinet against one wall.
I was gonna say, we're gonna go for that.
Alrighty. So
Dice is not going to shy away from that either.
Whoa. You need your nerves about you.
No one said I couldn't have a swig, because the nerves are also potentially holding me back. She'll grab any bottle that Rex pulls out and just take a big whole gulp and hand it back.
Rex does the same.
Rex, you remember that Papa Tuscan is touted himself at a brewer of sorts. He was lying. It is alcohol, and it is alcoholic. Calling it good would be a stretch.
Rex spits it out.
Dice starts coughing, and then tries to it's like and then tries to be quiet, and hold it in.
Alrighty, so you are in Papa Tuscan's office. What would you all like to do?
I'd like to read a sitch.
Okay. How are you reading the sitch? That'll inform the kind of information and how I give it to you.
Gosh darn it! Every time I'm trying to look for the move book, it's not something I have saved.
While he's looking for the move book, Dice is gonna just start observing the office. What's kind of in this space, other than the liquor cabinet?
Okay. Papa Tuscan's office. It takes great advantage of using one room. There's a desk with a chair on the far side of the room facing the door, so Papa Tuscan could see any activity going on through the doorway. Between the desk and the door, there's a small little sitting area with like a coffee table and a couple of chairs. The liquor cabinet is off to the side of this kind of sitting area. There's one or two doors out of this room, but it's a rather simple room, almost more of like a meeting area of the office, a little atrium almost.
Can you go over to the other door?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the doors is just a bathroom, like nothing particularly interesting there. It's a bathroom. The other door looks like a study of sorts. The walls are lined with bookcases that have knickknacks collected from around the city, and I guess some sort of memorabilia from things that Papa Tuscan has done in his past life, whatever that was. There's a chair with a smaller table with a lamp on it. It's a very comfortable looking chair, well cushioned, good for sitting in to read.
Okay. None of the questions I really have pertain to reading a sitch. So instead, I'm going to kind of look around to see, gosh, what am I looking at?
Is there any sort of desk?
Yes, there's a desk.
I'm gonna go to the desk.
Because what I was going to look for, there's the laser tank, which we currently have. Would there happen to be confidential documents somewhere in his desk or in the office?
Yeah, you could only assume he's the number 2 of this entire civilization. He's got to have something in here.
I'm going to start trying to search around for anything that seems like it's confidential.
Okay, this is do something under fire again. You are going right up against Tuscan's ability to hide things.
That is a 14, and I have the advanced move.
Alrighty, well, what does that do?
I don't know. I don't have it written down. I just wrote down that move is advanced.
I am very advanced at doing that. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, the advanced version of Do Something Under Fire, you transcend the danger, the pressure, the possibility of harm. You do what you set out to do, and the MC will offer you a better outcome, a true beauty, or a moment of grace.
Wait, hang on. I've got it. Rex opens the file cabinet, and it's right there.
I'm down, yeah. Yeah, so Rex, you go searching through the room looking for confidential documents, anything that could be important or you could hold value for something that you're planning or doing or working on, however it may be. You just walk over to the first filing cabinet you see, open the first drawer, and right up the top it just reads vehicle mounted railgun.
Oh man,
Completed.
if only I knew how to read.
Yeah, but you start rifling through and you see this wireframe diagram of this ginormous gun and how it would be mounted to a vehicle, how it would be situated on these kind of geared turntables so it could be rotated while still being stable and mounted securely.
We're going to want these in addition to the fact that we've actually got the car, but just in case we can't bring it back. Rex winks and tucks it into his trench coat.
What kind of weird mind things are you doing now, too? I swear. What was that? Did Tuscan show you where those were?
No, I just guessed.
Holy...
Dice howls. It's the mutant wolves. They're back again.
Oh no.
Too good.
No, I just guessed that they were in here. I think I got lucky.
Okay, well, that... I think we should, if we can, find it. But...
Find what?
Upon that whatever...
Guys,
Well, what was that?
We were just in that.
That's what we were in. I don't understand this whole technology thing. It's so... Okay.
Really, what's important is the whole rotating turret mount part.
That is true. Well...
Oh, I wonder if I could install this on Reptile.
Honestly, if we can get that back to Eden, that would be crazy.
Man, I remember when Bravo did things like work on stuff instead of do brain stuff. I bet he could help build this.
I feel like we could ask him, see if he's still able or willing to do it. Wouldn't hurt.
Nah, he'd probably make it shoot flowers or something.
Well, if anything, we could ask somebody else in need, and I'm sure we can find somebody to help.
Speaking of Bravo,
After hearing Dice say, sit tight, we're doing something else important, Bravo's just like, well, now would be a time that would be useful for my brain to not filter out swear words.
that's what happens when your brain is programmed by the guy who owns Facebook.
Is that confirmed?
Unofficially.
It's uncanon that
Mark Zuckerberg's brain in a jar, king of Siliconia.
exactly.
So I'm like kind of huddled in the top of the guard tower. I still have the mortar there, but I'm also kind of like pressing on a wound right now so that I don't bleed out. And I peek up above the edge of the guard tower and look over the battlefield. What do I see?
That is the sitch that you find yourself in. The Crimson Cobras only have one mark against them. Pittsburgh is half destroyed. However, just as you said, that means both of them are technically an equal distance away from being destroyed.
Yeah, you know what? I wanted to stop these guys from getting in this city, but they're already in. And I don't want to die. So I kind of stay behind cover, but I also, like best I can while still kind of staying behind cover, I aim the mortar and I start firing to it, not exactly being super precise, but just giving the Crimson Cobras an advantage in the fight.
Okay, yeah.
Mechanically, I'm laying down fire.
Yeah, I think that's valid. Does laying down fire do anything specifically?
Yeah.
It lays down fire.
Mainly, it's a battle move that I can use without it just being exchanging harm, being one of the steps. And since I'm already at 3 harm, I wanted to do something where I'm not gonna get shot at.
Okay, yeah.
Ooh, that's a really bad roll though. Okay, let's see. We got 5. We got plus hard, so 7. Oh, okay. So I get to choose 2 of the options.
Yep.
I'll take an opportune shot, inflicting harm but -1 harm on an enemy within my reach. So I'll actually hit the guards, or the army of New Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Then I'll also provide covering fire, allowing the Crimson Cobras to act freely.
Okay, yeah. So, you're up here, cradling a couple of broken ribs, trying to move this mortar around without causing irreparable harm to yourself or accidentally firing the wrong direction. You see a head pop up from the ladder. Philip goes, "That was awesome, dude."
Hey, good job surviving, Philip. Here, give me a hand with this thing. I'm kind of bleeding.
And the two of you are able to get the mortar positioned better. You start laying down fire. You're actually able to land a couple of good shots into the body of the guards of the army of New Pittsburgh.
As we're doing this, I turn to Philip and I'm just like, has your gang ever sacked a city before?
And as Philip is grabbing one of the quickly depleting rounds of ammunition from the little like case that they have up here, he goes, honestly, it depends on your definition of city. I mean, we are, highwaymen. We attack small groups of people that are on the road, or if we come across a small settlement, we haven't gone for anything big. We like it. We like it on our own. We fend for ourselves. We don't need none of this fancy hoo-ha to live the life we want.
So
he hands you a mortar round.
And after a round explodes and black-clad guards go flying everywhere, I'm like, okay, be honest with me. What's gonna happen? Like what's gonna happen in this city once you guys come swarming in?
Honestly, it's a really good question. It really depends on the state of us after this. If there's a lot of us, we might just take what we need and call it good that we've got rid of a rather large thorn in our side. Or if there's not many of us left, and depending on who's leading the charge, if Amy bites it and Crankshaft's the one in charge, there may be some. Well, I mean, the phrase "hath no fury like a woman scorned." Killing all your friends is pretty scornful. So. Yeah, fair. Well,
Trent, I want
Aaron.
to know, should I roll to read a person? What I want to know is like I want to know if he's being honest, if like how violent they're going to be, how much the people here are going to suffer.
I mean,
That
there
comes
is
from
is this person telling the truth?
Yeah, you could definitely read a person. This kind of entire situation is charged, especially with your prior actions. But also, like, if you have any of your brainer stuff that you want to experiment with, I haven't read your playbook, so I don't know. I would hate to rob you of the opportunity to do something cool in exchange for doing something reasonable.
For sure. Okay, so as I hand him a piece of ammunition, I try to get some like hand contact so I can do a deep brain scan in that case.
Okay, I think that's reasonable. You are grabbing rather volatile things from each other. You're probably doing a pretty good job to make sure that it's stable.
Yeah. +3 weird, so that's a 10.
Okay, 10, hold 3.
Then I want to know, for what does Philip crave forgiveness, and of whom?
You brush Philip as he's handing you a shell, and you are in an instant flashed into his mind and his memories, and you have this idea and this vision, this moment where you see not a small child, but like a young teenager, you know, that like 10 to 13 range. You see him fleeing from this large bonfire, and it's surrounded by very solemn people. As we kind of move from his face, his tears are streaming down, and he's running away. We pan over to the bonfire and see that it's a funeral pyre, full of the bodies of people, presumably from this little community, that are covered in these pockmarks and lesions, and very clearly were diseased. But this little boy runs off in fear and in fury. Philip craves forgiveness for abandoning his people, but there's none of them left to say sorry to.
Interesting.
He abandoned his family. That's not going to happen again.
And another one of the options is, what was your character's lowest moment? Is this going to be, if I use a question on that, is it just going to be the same thing?
Yeah.
All right, then I'm instead going to go with, in what ways are your character's mind and soul vulnerable?
Philip's not he's not the sharpest tool in the shed. He's a pretty good hand all around, but you've experienced it, you know, working with him, convincing him to go on this harebrained scheme with you without telling him what you were doing. The thing is, his heart's in the right place. But that also means that if you know where to put the thumb screws, you can kind of get him to do whatever you need. There are some things, his family, that he values above all else.
Yeah. And then I'll go ahead, just because I have one more. What are your character's secret pains?
In the camp of the Crimson Cobras, you know, it's a pretty rough and tumble crew. You know, they're biker gang, living in the wilderness, highway, you know, robbing people as they go. It's difficult to form really good, solid relationships. But there is a man that Philip has been eyeing for a little while. Doesn't really know how to approach them or you know, express what's going on, but he wishes he had the words.
Interesting. As we continue to work together, I'm just like, Philip, you guys don't just go around killing people for fun, do you?
No, we do it because we have to.
Yeah, just a group of hard people.
The world's hard, so you got to be hard. But if you find the right people, it gets a lot easier.
Well, maybe Rex wasn't as wrong as I thought. Never mind. It's not important right now. Let's keep doing this. My plan is to just keep holding a position that is like not gonna put me in a ton of danger, but still helping the Crimson Cobras to fight this battle. I also pull out the radio and switch it back to the Crimson Cobra's frequency, and just like keep telling like the ones that are in the city, like, hey, like there's still one guard tower that's shooting at the ones outside the city, and hopefully they can take that out. But other than that, I think that, I mean, it's not gonna be pretty, but I think this should be enough to tip the battle in our favor.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing that as we cross fate is the Crimson Cobras go from slowly losing the fight to slowly gaining ground. Thank you so much for all of those who have been listening to this podcast. If you would just be able to go and subscribe on whatever platform it is, or share, send us a review or a voice message even on Anchor, that would be wonderful. We love hearing from you, and we love to see your feedback, and we want to make sure that you don't miss any of the upcoming episodes. That would be a true tragedy. So go ahead and do that. And I think that's everything. So we'll get back to the show now. But as Bravo is having these emotional revelations and breakthroughs, we switch back over to Dice and Rex, staring at a piece of paper adjacent to a filing cabinet.
Okay, well, we have found this. Was there anything interesting on the desk while Rex was doing his thing through the finding the paper in the filing cabinet?
Define interesting.
That looks confidential or top secret. A map.
I mean, yeah, he very definitely has a map of New Pittsburgh. Like, it'd be completely unreasonable for him to not have one. It's filled with stuff. It's got the markings for like the hydroelectric plant that was just up the way from where you were hiding out after escaping the warehouse and shooting up the street. It's got labels for basically everything. One thing that catches your eye is a large orange dot that goes Rebel Base. It's exactly where the headquarters, the canted building for the resistance that you met up with Dahlia and Lucasta and Carter in. It's spot on for that spot.
Well, I'm gonna notice that and just let it go, because at this point, we're past there being any sort of rebellion.
That's what you take away from this?
I mean, she sees it and is like, well, it's just, at this point, what is she going to do with that information? Papa Tuscan is dead. They know where the rebel base is. That means the rebellion wasn't all that secret, which doesn't surprise her, as it took her and Bravo not a lot of time to find it. Took us a couple days, and we'd never been to the city before, so... well, is there anything else of interest, do you think, that's in here, Rex, or should we...
Do we hear, like, doors being opened?
You haven't heard anything for a little while. You're also several stories above where they entered. It's just a matter of time, though. Just because you haven't heard anything yet doesn't mean that they're not just 2 floors below you, and in 15 minutes they'll be on you.
Oh, but Rex is still really wanting to look for something. It just feels like there's something missing.
Do you know where the leader's office is?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. It's a few floors up, probably.
We came in here to find her, did we not?
Yeah, but there was also some other stuff I was trying to look for.
Well...
I got the most important one, but I need to know how they knew about my sister.
What if... I am starting to realize we don't have a lot of time here. And honestly, I think our best bet is to just go straight to the big lady herself. Maybe she knows.
Yeah, I'm not really keen on asking her any questions.
Understandable, but we can do all of the searching that we want once she's dealt with.
All right, let's go. We're just gonna pop the door open just a little bit and peek out.
Okay. You look out into a dark hallway. There's a couple of doors that go down the hallway. And you hear the sound of a door closing the floor below you. It sounds like it was rather heavy, almost like an accident that it closed that loud, but nonetheless you hear it.
Rex kind of leans in to whisper to Dice. You want to try to take them by surprise, or just really quickly? Because I'm afraid they're so close they'll hear us if we try to go up. But, could try to take them by surprise?
If you think we can handle it, I wouldn't be against it. But I don't know how many there are, and there's only 2 of us.
Brix is gonna step out and start making his way upstairs.
Okay. Are you doing it in a particular way or just standard?
I mean, ideally, I'm not trying to be heard, but I also can't really afford the time to be sneaking around. So I guess that cancels out to normally?
Yeah, I suppose so. Would each of you act under fire?
That is another 12. It's almost like having a +3 in a stat. Is good.
9.
Rex, you again take the lead. Dice, it's astonishing just how quiet a man of Rex's size can be. And you, and he leads the way. You two move over to a different stairwell than the one you went up the first time. You start heading up a couple of flights of stairs, and at one point, as you're making your way up, you hear a door open a couple of floors below you, and Dice, you as the door opens, it startles you a little bit, and you turn a little faster, and just the metal from your sidearm clinks once against the metal handrail and echoes through the chamber, or not the chamber, through the shaft. You see the beam of a flashlight peer up through the darkness, wave around a little bit, and it pans back down. You hear a radio squawk on as a door opens and closes, and you miss exactly what's said.
She's gonna motion to just keep going.
I was. You can even see me in the camera. Rex is doing a motion for her to keep going once the tension is resolved from its peak there.
The perfect thing for audio-only medium. Silent hand symbols.
She's covering her mouth as all of that's going down, like, I cannot believe I just did that. And then, yeah.
We keep making our way up to, I don't know, probably the top floor?
Would make sense. Some sort of despotic dictator would definitely give themselves the penthouse.
Definitely.
All right, so we reach the top of the stairwell there.
Yeah, you reach the top of the stairwell. You look through the door. There's like a little window in the door. You look through it, and it's a little bit of a long hallway, and at the end of it, there is a room with the door just left wide open, and this room has some lights on. You don't know exactly why, but there's some lights on. It doesn't look like all the lights. It doesn't look like the actual building lights. It looks like some sort of emergency lights are on. And as you look into this room, you see a woman tied to a chair. She's been beat up. There is her face is bruised, and there's blood dried from a cut on her head. But she's pretty far down the hall, or down. It's a far way, so you're not 100% sure. Dice, you feel like you've seen this person before, but at this distance, it's hard to tell.
I mean, I'm gonna take out Amy, open the door, and start making my way down with a swagger of not necessarily being too silent anymore.
Dice will follow, being keen to listen for the door to open in the back.
Yeah, make sure the door doesn't slam behind me.
Oh, yeah. Grab the door. Close it silently.
Yeah. So as you two, Rainbow Six your way down this hallway, making sure the door closes quietly. Once you enter this hallway, Rex, you can hear like the purr of some kind of generator or something running in a room a little bit removed. As you get closer to this doorway, the woman becomes takes more and more of your spot. You see these like almost shop lights that are propped up on stands and have cables running through doors into other rooms. That way there's light. And you approach Dice. As you follow behind Rex, you recognize this person. This woman tied to the chair, beat up, seemingly an inch from death. This is Kian. She was one of the people who heard you out at the Resistance.
Mm-hmm. Is she still breathing?
I think we have to get closer to find that out.
Okay. Dice's eyes kind of go wide, and like trying to still keep quiet, but upon recognition,
So what do you all do?
I mean, I want to find out what happens next. I want to go. I want to see what's happening in here.
Dice is following close behind, but the thought process is kind of along the lines of how often, like, when did this happen? Is she the one? Then it goes back to the map. Did she give away the location of the Resistance headquarters? Is that how they found it? Is this recent? Or, like, did they already know where the headquarters were? Like, she already previously assumed? Those are kind of the thoughts that are now spinning through her head as she's just following Rex.
As the two of you enter the room, you come upon an ornate suite, right, where Papa Tuscan's was utilitarian but comfortable. Vodka Green's personal quarters and office are immaculate. The seating is this lovely upholstered thing that I don't know, if you find your grandma's chic to be lovely and fancy, then it totally fits. If you find it garish and ugly, then more power to you. But it's this room is lovingly adorned with things that seem nostalgic and sentimental almost. The wood here is nicely polished. The only thing that's really out of place is this crappy chair with Kian tied to it. And the other thing you notice about this room as you enter is this woman leaning confidently against the wall with a pistol in her hand. And as you all enter the room, she goes, "Oh, finally! I've been waiting for this for days now." And we cut over to Bravo. Bravo, you have been helping to turn the tide. You and Philip have been launching mortars into the army of New Pittsburgh. However, your stock of ammunition is running low. It's not really a secret that your mortar tower has been taken over by enemy forces. They're not running you more ammunition. Mm-hmm. The first couple of shots, it was like, okay, what's going on? After it's been happening for a couple of minutes, it's pretty obvious that, something nefarious has happened to the people in that tower.
Yeah. Are there... I assume that pretty much all of the forces of New Pittsburgh were outside the city in this big army. Does it look like there's anybody... Should I read a stitch to see if anybody's coming to try and kill me?
I feel like that would be a waste of a dice roll, honestly.
Sweet. Does it... Yeah, as I look over the city, are there, like, forces regrouping within the city or anything like that?
A little bit, yes. As you do survey the city from a higher vantage point, you see a couple of small fractured cells of people running through the city in directions. These small platoons of, frankly, as the thing you notice as you look around, right? You're starting to see groups of people rallying. The small ones are heading towards various towers. There's this group of what you're estimating 25, 30 people heading towards where Rex and Dice left the tank. But these groups that as you spend a little more time looking at them, you realize that they're not comprised solely of guards. You're starting to get people in civilian clothes making up the majority of these groups, being led by a couple of official guards from New Pittsburgh.
So I wasn't completely right, but I also wasn't completely wrong that attacking the city would turn the people against us. Okay, Philip. We don't have a lot of ammunition left, and it looks like the guards are gathering people to fight. What do you think we should do? Like, I have a question for you, not as Philip, but as the game master. Is the army outside almost finished?
The army outside is dwindling. The removal of their supportive fire and you adding fire has started to thin the ranks out. The Cobras they're getting to the point where they've gained control of the outside. Just with the nature of things that have happened, like you've made great strides, but there hasn't been anything decisive done to ensure victory of the Cobras yet on the outer forces.
Yeah. All right. Okay, I have another question for you. The people that are being gathered by the guards to fight for this city, I assume since they're not used to fighting and stuff, they might be a little bit disorganized. Would it be accurate to refer to them as a mob? Yeah, I think that would be. It's a bunch of mini mobs. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. Well.
Inside the mob.
You know what, Philip? Okay, what do you think we should do? Do you think we should just, like, open the gate? Or do you think I should... I mean, being weird got me into this. Do you think being weird is going to get me out of this?
I don't really understand your weird stuff. I think opening the gate's a great idea.
Okay.
Getting our guys
I wanted to have the +1 for the weird stuff. It's okay.
You asked the, like, macho man biker guy, hey, should I do whack brain things?
I mean, he thought it was pretty sick what I did before, though. All right.
But
Full
what kind
send.
of sick?
Here goes nothing. I take my radio, turn it back to the Guards of New Pittsburgh frequency, and I hold down the button so nobody can talk over me, and I say, "People of New Pittsburgh, what looks like a mob, what looks like a gang besieging your city is actually led by us, some people here who have come to free you. It is not us versus them. As I've learned for myself all too well recently, not everybody's a good guy or a bad guy, but I can tell you that this city's leadership has tried to keep you down. They've tried to control you, and no matter what side you choose to fight for, freedom is coming, and it's not gonna stop. So, maybe don't fight for the losing side. I don't know. Freedom, yeah? Freedom!" And I'm gonna roll for the hocus move that I just took, called Frenzy.
Wait, what?
It says, when you speak the truth to a mob, roll plus weird. Would you consider that the truth, what I spoke?
I mean, it's freaking cool, so... yeah.
Here we go. Yes! I rolled 2 5s. So that would be a 13. On a 10 plus, hold 3. Spend your hold 1 for 1 to make the mob. Okay, so for my first one, I'm just gonna start with fall into an orgy of uninhibited emotion. And I'm just gonna do celebrating. I just want all the people who hear my message to be so happy that they're gonna be free. That they're just gonna just completely fall into a mode of disorganization and celebration. And hopefully that includes the army outside, but I don't know. Maybe they're too organized to be classified as a mob.
I would level an argument at you that they have nothing to celebrate about.
Freedom!
They don't have freedom.
But I told them that the city is falling. Didn't you hear my beautiful speech?
I get what you're aiming for. I get what you're aiming for.
All right. You know what? Maybe I'm being a little bit too optimistic and too nice with this. I just add on a little bit at the end there. Also, join with me. Kill those who have kept you down, but keep the radios on. And I choose unite and fight for you as a gang.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Like, you have 3. You can pick 3 of these options. That's fine. I'm just saying, like, choose a different adjective besides celebratory.
I mean, yeah, lamenting, fighting, sharing, celebrating as you choose. What I meant is like a ecstatic pandemonium. Like a wave of emotion comes over them that is like freaking out, like happy, but also like not in control of themselves. Hope is probably it. Yeah, uninhibited hope. Also fight for me as a gang, kill the masters, but keep the radio on.
Okay, do you want to choose a third option or just let that hold?
Okay, then I'll say kill the masters and bring the leaders of this corrupt city to the Eastern Guard Tower. Okay,
bravo. You take the radio.
Oh, was that a bravo or okay.
You take the radio and you hold down the button and you start just your impassioned, kind of meandering, but eventually getting to the point speech.
Mm-hmm.
And you move the radio from your mouth. You don't know if the guards just turned their radios off the second they heard someone preaching some whack stuff, or whether your message got through. And as you're standing there, just kind of waiting and surveying over it, Philip goes, "Well, I thought it was nice, anyways."
Thanks, Philip.
And then you see these pockets of conscripted soldiers start to scatter. They're no longer cohesive. Things aren't they're not meshing. They're not listening to the guards who are in charge of them. You see a couple of them get just overrun. The guards get overrun by these mobs of people as they begin to congregate and move together as a mass towards that admin building that Rex and Dice are currently in.